Hey guys, we are just recording, and let me figure out how to share my screen. So today, Carmen and I were talking about, what should we kind of start with? We haven't really used our page that much, but we are just starting to have more of you guys, kind of show interest in the business, and we feel like it's time for us to really, rather than concentrating on just Holly's page, start building our own. And the great thing is all of you are kind of in the same place in terms of starting. So you can talk to each other, rely on each other, whereas on Holly's page, there are people all over the map as to where they are in their coaching business. So so I made a little PowerPoint. Let me share my screen. Share screen. And I will get started. And if you guys happen to not be able to see it, just unmute yourselves and tell me. But so today, this is just all about the basics. So what do I do? Whether you've thought about coaching and you've been kind of thinking about it for the past couple months, but haven't really started, or if you just recently started, this is good for anyone, any of you guys. And honestly, sometimes it's a good refresher for me. Carmen, you might feel the same. So this just kind of gets you to that starting point because I know it can be really overwhelming. And we don't want that for you. So just kind of concentrate on these few things and hopefully that will help. So first, you need to post a coming out post. People are not going to know that you have something to offer to them unless you put it out there. So first, I recommend thinking like, why? Why did you decide to coach? What you don't want your coming out post to be is just, hey guys, I'm a Beachbody coach. Let me know if you need any help with your health and fitness needs. That is not really going to appeal to anyone. So if you think about why you're doing this, and certainly, I know for me, part of it was health and fitness, but there was also so much else that came with it. You want to have that clearly defined. Now, it's okay. Your why might change, but you do want to think about what your current why is. When you type it up, tell a little bit of a story. That is what's going to get people continue reading. If you just have something there and it's kind of boring, or it just sounds very like anyone could be writing it, they're going to kind of go past it and stop reading. And then find a picture that represents you. I would not recommend it being with your Shakeology, not necessarily in exercise clothes, like with the perfectly posed, like lifting a weight or something like that. Certainly if you live in exercise clothes like me, you can have that. But you just don't want it to be, again, that generic thing. So here is kind of mine. I'm not saying it was perfect, but it certainly was, it kind of told my story. So I talked a little bit about how before I got pregnant, results always came easy for me. And I kind of assumed that it would be the same after I had my son, and it wasn't. I also talked about how going back to work was really, really hard, that I hated leaving my son every day. And I just felt like I needed to change. I needed something to be able to bring me home. So combining both looking for a program that fit my lifestyle and my needs and was giving me results, and something that made me, gave me the possibility financially to stay at home, is why I decided to do this. Certainly, I like working with others as well, helping people. But when it came down to my why, it was being home with my son, feeling comfortable in my own skin. So again, this is just a little example. And then I put a picture of me and my son. I feel like pictures of any picture that has my son, which this looks crazy because now he looks so much bigger than that. But people, it just tends to draw people. They tend to look at it, like it, comment it, something like that. So, and then I just said that I was a Beachbody coach. I want others to join me, blah, blah, blah. So you can kind of go back to that if you want as an example. Again, that's purely an example. You can also go into the Team TNT page and type coming out. And I know that a lot of people will post what they are kind of hope to put out there and ask for feedback. You could also do the same thing in our page. Don't overthink it. Just let, whatever comes to you, just let it come. Next, you want to increase your network. So if you're Facebook friends with me or you know me, I primarily work on my like page. But Carmen primarily works on her personal page, and that is totally fine. I do still work some from my personal page. And that is the easiest way to both, one, reach out to what's called your warm market, but two, add people to your network. So what you should be doing every day is like looking at your list of suggested friends. And if you have some friends in common, add. I've even been super creeper and like gone to different friends that I kind of know, like I'll think back to some of my college friends, people that I don't necessarily talk to anymore, but who I feel are kind of similar to me based on the posts that they put up, where they are in their life, that kind of stuff. And I'll go through their friends list, and if I have a couple friends in common, even if I have no clue who that person is, I'll just add them. I know it sounds crazy. Some people don't accept your friend requests, but a surprising number of people do. I'll have to look. Let me bring it up really fast. I know when I started Beachbody in May, I had, I think, about 700 Facebook friends, and now I have 1,377. So that shows you how many people will accept a Facebook friend request. I know I've done it before too. If I see a mutual friends, I'm like, well, we must have met at some point. I'm just going to accept them because I don't want to offend them or something like that. So that's two ways that you can go in and make your friends, or increase that network, increase the amount of people that are seeing your posts. So suggested friends, and then going into specific friends and looking at their friends list and clicking add. You also want to make sure that if you're comfortable with it, most people are, and I really feel like in this business you kind of have to get comfortable with this, is making your post public. The reason being is every time someone comments on your post, likes your post, or wants to share your post, if they do it and your post is public, well, one, they can't share it if it's private. But two, it will show up in their friends' timelines. So, and that's what you want. Again, you want to increase that exposure. So if other people out of your network see it, they too know that you have something to offer, and they may reach out to you. They may accept a friend request. They may like it, and then you can go in and friend request them, whatever it may be. I apologize if you start hearing it's my son's bedtime, and he normally wants me to put him to bed, so we're going to see how this goes. So next we're going to, so you are increasing you've come out, so you've told people that you're a Beachbody coach, that you have something to offer. You are increasing your network, both by Facebook friending, so adding people to your network. Again, it really does not matter that you don't know them. Just kind of look for people that you feel like you connect with, that are people very similar to you, and then making your posts private or public. Now, you want to make sure you're posting regularly. I normally recommend 2 to 3 times a day. I know that can sound like a lot, especially if you're working, but I promise if that's something that if you want to make this a priority, you absolutely can. When I started Beachbody, obviously I had a toddler. My husband and I were working completely opposite schedules. So it was essentially the only time we saw each other were Friday evenings. So I didn't have him at home, on the nights and weekends to kind of take over a little bit while I worked. I worked over 40 hours. My schedule would normally be Monday through Friday, but sometimes could be Saturday and Sunday, but I made it work. I know for me, I would post first thing in the morning before I went to work. I would try to prepare a post beforehand that I could put up during my lunch hour. That way, if someone at work, I don't know about where you work, but sometimes people can be very petty and will go and say you're on Facebook or something. So I would post it at my lunchtime, and then any time in the evening. Typically, I would try around 8 o'clock or later, just because that's when most people are getting online, and you want it to be You want it to be seen. So you don't want to post at like 5:30 when a lot of people are probably eating with their families. So that's kind of talking just a little bit about posting, or how often you should. But I am in a training this month, and they just put a coach, Holly's business bestie, her name is Ashley, just did a really good training this past week about how preparing content, like what you should be thinking about when coming up with content. You never want to post just because you said you did, like just to say you did, just to check it off the list, because people are not going to connect with that and you might get on people's nerves. You always want a purpose behind the post. And these are the 3 things that Ashley recommended. 1, entertaining. So what does your audience love? I know for me, I don't always post original things just from me. If I find something that is funny, so I feel like my audience likes, well, I'll give you some examples here in a minute. But if it just really connects with me, but I didn't post it, whether it's a meme, a GIF, whatever you call them, I follow like Letterboard on Instagram, and so I always think a lot of their posts are funny, so I'll take a screenshot. And those are things that I'll connect. So that, or post, that takes almost no time for me to prepare. I'll just screenshot it. So on those days that I really have nothing to do or I can't think of something, I'll go through my screenshots and I'll be like, oh yeah, I have this. And then I'll put it up. So that's entertaining. Just a little ha-ha. People might comment, oh, that's how I feel too, blah, blah, blah. But that's it. But people are still engaging, and that's what you want. Number 2 is educating. So are you inspiring people? Are you giving them tips, recipes, whatever you might be passionate about? I know for me, obviously, I am passionate about like the workout. So I like to record me working out. That's something, first I felt silly. Now it's just come second nature. And I like to share recipes, but I also don't like to cook throughout the week. So I kind of show people how I prepare 1 or 2 meals on a Sunday or Monday and just use those through the rest of the week. So I also like to show people, because I don't like vegetables and stuff like that, how I can take maybe more of those comfort foods and still find healthier recipes. So I don't feel like I'm dieting or anything like that. I'm not depriving myself of anything. I'm just using those whole healthy ingredients, and then being able to eat, amazingly good food. I also like to show people that cooking and meal prepping doesn't take a whole lot of time. So I tend to do a meal prep Monday where I cook live one of my meals for the week. I haven't done it in the past week or two, because last week I know I didn't meal prep at all. But those are 2 things that I just really enjoy sharing. So think about what in this journey do you feel like you're good at? Do you just get a lot of joy out of? And that can be part of your educating. And it's all about giving them value. So you want to get them, obviously you want them to sign up, you want them to buy things from you, but you also want to give them just free value. So those are those things that they don't have to spend money on anything. I'll give workout circuits. I'll post the recipe that I'm making. And that way people don't feel like I'm always just trying to get their money, because I really do. I want to connect with other people. It's not just about a sale. And then persuading. So making sure you're putting your heart into the content, how you post, how can the post speak to someone today? So, just really connecting to that person, how I said when adding to your network, connecting to the person that is a lot like you, that might be feeling the same things that you are feeling, or maybe you felt at the beginning of your journey. So now I'm going to show you a couple examples. This is entertaining. So right now, my 2 things that I talk about a lot on my page is obviously my pregnancy is a huge part of what I'm going through right now. And then I tend to share a lot of things about being kind of like a grandma, introvert, not really liking to talk to a lot of people. So these are a couple posts that got a lot of engagement, as you can see. I mean, different amounts. And again, you're looking for engagement. So you want to make sure you're asking questions, getting people to want to respond and not just scroll on. So the first one, I did my letterboard. I like brought out my toothbrush, my headband that I use when I wash my face, my glasses, some flossers, all that good stuff, and said my New Year's Eve plans, which was nothing, going to bed early. To me, New Year's Eve was the same as every other night. And some people, I have 6 comments there, 17 likes, reactions, not a whole lot, but it's still, it kind of showed people my personality. I'm not one that is going to be out all hours of the night going crazy. Not saying I didn't do that in my younger years, but that's just not me anymore. I will take a pajama pants, braless, laying on the couch by 8 o'clock night over getting all done up and going out like any night of the week. So that's one. The middle one is just breastfeeding. I bought this new pump. I wasn't sure how it worked. Yes, I could Google it and very easily come up with the answer myself, but why not reach out to my other fellow pregnant mamas and just recently had baby mamas and get their feedback too. Do they like this pump? How do you use it? Just give me your experiences. And as you can see, I only had 13 reactions, which those are less, you care less about likes and more about comments, because the more people comment, the more you're going to show up in their news feed. So I had 76 comments. Now, that also includes me responding, because you want to keep those people engaged. You want them to talk back to you. So that's not just people writing. It also includes my comments back. But still, 76 for me, that's a whole lot. And then the final one on the right is just, I was putting up a picture of my bump. I asked other people, hey, if you're pregnant right now, share your bump pic in the comments below and tell me how far along you are. And people love to show their bumps. So that one had 47 likes and then 81 comments. People were kind of blowing up that post with pictures of their bumps. So then I was able to kind of respond, say, how are you feeling? And just kind of start that connection. So that's entertaining examples. Next is educating. Again, like I said, so on the left, that was just this past week, very short 10-minute workout. I showed that I was drinking coffee at the beginning, but I was still moving. And so I don't know why people tend to watch that more. I got 733 views. My views tend to vary with like pages right now. I'm not going to go into it too much, but exposure seems to be down. So whatever. But I still was giving people a circuit that they could do at home, required zero equipment, and it also showed that you can do it with a toddler, because that's one thing that I am passionate about, is moms not making their children an excuse. So I like to, whenever I can, show me working out with Landon so people can see that that is in fact possible. You don't need to use your kids as an excuse. The middle one, Meal Prep Monday. So I made Sloppy Joes. And then also in it, I said an update on this giant baby that I'm growing. We went to get a growth scan this morning. I know Carmen and I talk about it all the time. I'm all about creating curiosity when I go live, which I will tell you guys, get comfortable going live. If you want any feedback from me, that's one thing that I'm always going to tell you, is to go live. Maybe not every single day. I don't go live every day, but Carmen can say that this is true. Live, it's just Facebook algorithms. They want you to go live, and so they're more likely to promote those videos. So if you're going to ever ask me for feedback, and if we ever sit and have like an individual call or call with me and Carmen and you, that's probably one thing that I'm going to suggest. But by saying that, then people are going to wonder, okay, what is she updating us on? And they might be more likely to tune in. So I do like to do those kind of titles that make them curious. And then the last one on the far right, it was a picture or a video of me and my brother working out together. So I did this for a couple of reasons. One, I like to show that these workouts are difficult for not just women. They're difficult for men too, and effective for men. My brother is in great shape, and I was able to write in, I didn't put all of my what the caption that I put with it. But by the end, he was exhausted, and I was able to kind of summarize his feedback. But the kicker with that is when I shared it, I was able to then tag him, and I always tag my husband. Why do I do that? That's more people that see my videos. So I don't always do that now, again, because I'm concentrating just on my Facebook page or my like page. But when I do share it to my personal page, I tag, well, my brother actually just got off Facebook, so I can't tag him anymore. But every single post, whether my brother was in it and my husband's almost never in it, I always tag the two of them because more people see it. I'm all about trying to get people to see what I'm posting. And I've actually had people, I've had one girl reach out from my husband's like network. I had never met her before. And she had just been watching my videos. I never would have known. She never liked or commented or anything, and she messaged and joined. So it's just something to think about. And then persuading. So the one on the far left, this is just me connecting with my people that are kind of going through similar experiences as me, and who I want my post to really, I want it to touch them. I want them to understand and kind of feel what I'm going through. Oh, I'm looking at the time. I hope I'm not getting too long-winded. So the left was just pretty much me showing a picture. It shows my bump. I'm holding a picture of me, my husband, and my son. And I talked about just sitting and crying when I was putting my son down this past week. And I had a lot of people both comment, but also message me about kind of their similar experiences, if they had it, or how they're currently feeling because they're expecting their second. And that just allows us to connect on a whole nother level. So that was one. In the middle, it was a live. It was after I went to the doctor, and they talked a little bit about my weight. I'd have a history of just kind of body image issues and fixating on my weight, being obsessive. So I talked about that, and I got a lot of comments and messages for that. So many women reached out and said, thank you for posting this. I'm pregnant. I'm struggling with the exact same thing. I actually cried during this live. That's not normally me. I don't like to show that kind of vulnerability, I guess, but it connected with people. And that's one thing that I always want to do is be real. I don't want to just show the highlight reel of my life. So that was one. And then on the far right, talked a little bit about my anxiety. I can't remember everything else that I talked about. That picture was actually one of my fabulous coaches, Krista, who I don't think is on right now, but hopefully we'll be able to get on or see this later. She came and did maternity pictures. I did not want my stomach showing, and she convinced me. And I think I might have talked a little bit about that too in that post that, now I'm glad that I have that picture. But just talking about anxiety coming with pregnancy, having number 2, how Landon's going to feel, all of that good stuff. If you're thinking about, okay, what can I talk about when trying to connect with that audience, when trying to persuade? Here is something that you can do. This is a struggle web. You can have like 10 million struggle webs. This is just a quick one that I put up today, or made up today, about one thing that I'm struggling with is my pregnancy. And a couple things with it. Weight gain, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at having that lack of control with my body. I have a history of disordered thinking. Also with my pregnancy, comparing myself to others. I try not to play the comparison game, but inevitably, sometimes I do. And then also during this pregnancy, struggling about bringing a second child while I'm excited. I'm thinking about Landon. How is he going to handle this? Is he going to understand it? How is he going to respond to this, me rocking his world, and then knowing that it's my choice, me and my husband's choice? And I don't know, it's just been hard. And then also, how am I going to juggle both? I like to have a routine. I like to have a schedule. I have it down for Landon. What's it going to be like when I have a second? And all of that gets turned upside down. So this is just an example, but by having these struggle webs, that's really going to help you pinpoint things that you can talk about that, yes, might make you a little bit more vulnerable, but it will also allow people to connect with you. And I think this is my last slide. Signing up new challengers. So we are increasing our network. We are posting consistently, and inviting that maybe we need to talk about next week, because you are going to have to be reaching out and actively inviting people if you want people to sign up. They're not just going to come to you. But when signing people up, these are two kind of goals that you're going to want to have in mind. So first, a goal of at least 3 customers per month, or new people per month. The reason why, Beachbody has this thing called Success Club, and they kind of gauge that as you growing your business. So if you're consistently hitting Success Club, which, there's Success Club 5 and 10. 5, it's kind of hard to get to 5. So you want to reach out to get 3 new people signed up, either on Shakeology on Home Direct or with a challenge pack, that you will hit Success Club. And that's just going to kind of help your business grow. But with that, when signing 3 customers up, you're going to want them to sign them up as discount coaches, for 2 reasons. One, well, you want to at least recommend it. It saves them money. So I am super frugal. I do not like, while I believe our health and fitness is a investment that we absolutely need to put, I think it's worth putting time and money into, I also want to save money when I can. So I want that the same, because if I'm talking to people that are like me, they want to save money as well. So by signing them up as a discount coach, they get 25% off their Shakeology. Yes, they pay a discount fee or a coach fee every month, but it still gets them a discount. So you're going to want that. And then 2, it's going to help you rank advance, which is awesome. So those are the 2 things, because that's also how your business is going to grow. But we are going to go into that in another training. So that is pretty much it. I know I tried to move kind of fast. I hope it wasn't too fast. Let me stop sharing there you go. Let me stop. So does anyone have any questions? Carmen, do you have anything to add? Beth, do you have any questions? I hope I didn't go too fast. I just know we're all on a time constraint. I actually just got a text from my husband saying that my son needs me. And so I'm not going to be able to stay on here very long, Beth. I know you need to get to your son, and Carmen, you're stuck in a bathroom. So
it always stinks in here. No, I think that was great. Like, I mean, it's fine. You can always watch the video back if you feel like you missed something or you wanted to take notes. I mean, that's why we record it. So, and then obviously you can always reach out to Lori and I with any questions, but we wanted to give you a rundown of like basics, starting out, what you should know. And like I said, you can watch it as many times as you want to learn it. We still learn every day, and we try to share with you everything that we learn. So,
Beth, do you have any questions for us or anything?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
I just figured out how to unmute it.
I know. Sorry, I went in and muted you. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording right now.